Morning. It is Friday morning, and I thought I would take a minute to talk to you a little bit. Hope that glare isn't too bright back there. I'll try to stay in the middle here. That this is like one of the only spots I can talk to you well in, and the morning sun is coming through back there. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit though about sabotage, and maybe a little bit about motivating yourself over that. I have been listening to a lot of different psychologists and hearing what they have to say about getting through that. And, you know, about a year ago, I think I mentioned it before, how I was talking about how do you get through that self-sabotaging, that last step through till you meet your goal. And I was talking about this to a health professional, and she had told me something that really surprised me. And she said, you know, to actually let that sabotage happen. And I thought that was a really strange answer. I thought she was going to say, you know, do these 10 things, you know, follow these steps, or tell yourself this. And she didn't. She said, let the sabotage happen. And I thought, well, that's really a funny answer. But what she was saying, if you let the sabotage happen, because it's going to happen anyway, and be aware of it happening, you're going to get closer to being able to cross that line, because for some reason you're not able to cross it because you're not ready for it yet. You're not ready for the success that comes with it. And so when I dug deeper and looked into, you know, what these other psychologists were saying about it, what they were saying was, yeah, you can dig deeper. It's not so much that you're afraid of the success, as if you get to the real root of the problem, it really stems from a root of fear of failure. And the reason why is because, you know, you can think of so many things. I mean, especially for us as YouTubers, if you're a YouTuber and you are showing people your journey, then you're, you know, if you cross over into success and then you make a step backwards and you feel like you fail, that failure is amplified in front of the whole world. And there's a lot of risk that comes with that. And you don't have to be a YouTuber to feel that, because you're also, you know, for those who are not YouTubers, you still have a wealth of people around you who are witnessing what you're doing. And so you still feel that, you know. And so I was thinking about, you know, I was listening to them talk about, you know, what are different ways to be able to get through that sabotage. And well, you know, big part of that. Now, one psychologist said, you know, what you're really going to have to do is re-record the reference in your mind, the videotape or whatever it is that's in your mind that you go to, that you play. Everybody has videos and DVDs in our mind that we go to for reference on every instance that we go to for reference. And that we cannot help it. That is the only thing that we have to go to for reference. And so, I'll give you an example. As when I was growing up, my parents actually kept me from, hang on a sec, I was in an odd spot and my legs were going to sleep. So anyway, I think what I was saying was, in my mind, excuse me, I have a reference growing up that, you know, my parents never portion controlled us. They basically let us have whatever we wanted, how much at dinner that we wanted, or at our meals. We were encouraged to eat until we wanted to stop. And definitely at celebrations and fiestas and things like that, we had to, or we were really encouraged to eat, you know, as much as we wanted. And so my frame of reference is never portion control. I just never had to do that. And so, you know, there's a reason why they did that. They were in want at different times when they were growing up, and they didn't want us to ever have to deal with that. So they kept us from, you know, having to do that. And then there was a point in time where we went through a rough time, and you know, I was young with, you know, living with my parents, and I may have worried at one time or another as to whether or not we were going to have enough to eat. And so there may be that reference, point of reference. But in any case, I do not have a recording in my mind that helps me to go to first off and portion control. And so when a celebration comes around, especially like a birthday or a Thanksgiving or something, there's nothing in there that tells me why I need to not keep going back to pick at the cake, because my frame of reference says keep going back and pick at the cake. Keep going back until it's all gone. In fact, that's my point of reference. And so I have to, according to these psychologists, I have to re-record something new, and that's going to be in place of that. I need to reaffirm, put an affirmation in there, which it's good to say these in the morning so that they're in there and you can go back to them throughout the day, so when you actually need it, it's quick. It's a quick point of reference for you. And sorry about that glare. I just don't know what to do about that. Let me see if I can move you over a bit. Maybe that's a little better. Okay, so anyway, so I have to re-record those things. And so in the morning now, I have to, I have to tell myself things like, it's okay to not have seconds. It's okay to not go back until it's all gone. Your body is doing better without, more than one of these servings. It's okay not to have, the whole thing. You're going to reap the joy and the benefit of success that comes with reaching your goal because of your discipline and your hard work, and you're going to survive just fine. So I have to actively reprogram my frame of reference so that I can keep going back to that, and then next time I come upon this situation, I will have a new reference. But according to these psychologists, it's going to take like 20 to 25 times of reaffirming in those instances until it becomes an actual recording in your head and you can actually feel more comfortable going to that. If you just say it once, you're going to say, oh yeah, that doesn't really feel comfortable, and forget that. Next time I'm going to go for it again. You know what? Don't do it. You have to keep on telling yourself. You have to know that you're going to have to reaffirm so many times, because it's going to take a while, that it's going to not feel natural to you to say it to yourself at first, because it's not natural. It's going to be foreign, and as something foreign, it's also probably going to scare you and try to scare you back into going to the old recording that, just go hog wild or whatever the recording is, because it's different. And a lot of these different psychologists will say, a lot of them will say that, well, the devil that you don't know is scarier than the devil that you do know. So that's why a lot of people will go back and sabotage, because the success and moving forward is the devil that they don't know. They don't know what comes with that. They don't know what's going to be required of them. They don't know if they're going to fail and fail bigger, out there, or what. So it's really important to reaffirm in order to help us get through that last step, or any step, but definitely if you're close to the goal, it's going to help you to change, So I'm at that point right now where I'm thinking I'm actually okay with the weight that I'm at, even though I could stand to lose like 8 more pounds, and I'd probably be at goal if I lost about 8 pounds. But at the same time, I really don't mind where I'm at. I kind of like it. I'm learning to really like it. One of the things that I did about 2 weeks ago was I used the mirror for just putting on my makeup and my hair. But other than that, I would just wear things that I knew fit me that week. And I avoided actually looking in the mirror at my body for a whole week. And the reason why was because I didn't want to focus on that part of the whole, I could dissect what I look like every day if I'm putting on clothes and I'm looking and I like this and I don't like that and this is too tight and blah, 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 or whatever. And I wanted to rest from looking at everything. And what I found was that it really freed my mind a lot, so that I could just really be happy with where I am as well. And so I want to, now that doesn't get in the way of me reaching for my goal and moving forward, because I'm still going to be on that path, but I'm not going to be ultra sensitive and hyper sensitive to how I look right now, and I can enjoy the journey a little bit more. And so I really appreciated being able to do that. It really gave me, I don't know, a better love for where I'm at right now. And what's funny is that, you know, I was looking at, I was checking out the different, I know this is a little off topic, but I was checking out the different, taking measurements, right, as well as weight. And I was looking at the differences, measurements of models in comparison to realistic measurements of models back in the 50s. And oh my goodness, there's such a difference. Right now, if you speak to a model, they will say that if you're a size 8 as a model, you're considered a plus size model. Which is insane, because people, you know, really, I mean, a size 7, 8 is like a perfect size, or a 9, 10 is a perfect size. I don't want to say that's a perfect size, because people are different, perfect sizes at different levels. You know, everybody's different. But I mean, a 7, 8 is like really small. And so, you know, I mean, plus size, really? Not that there's anything wrong with plus sizes. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying it's all, you know, the concept of it is just crazy. It's just, you have to look at yourself and learn to love your body and what healthy is for your body, and know where that is. You know what I mean? And I was noticing that, you know, some of the movie stars from back in the 50s and, you know, 60s or whatever, you have like Marilyn Monroe, Elizabeth Taylor had an unusually small waist, I'm finding, but Sophia Loren, these actresses had larger measurements, and this is before the Twiggy thing hit, you know, and Twiggy was okay for Twiggy, but that doesn't mean everybody needs to look like Twiggy. I found out that I have this exact same bust measurement and waist measurement that Sophia Loren had, although she had a smaller waist. I used to have a smaller waist, and now I'm like, I still have a waist, a decent waist, but I'm trying to get that to be a little thinner. But what would that mean for the rest of me? All of a sudden I'd lose everywhere else as well. So, you know, I don't know. So I'm okay where I'm at too, you know. So it's just funny. I just thought it was funny because it just really, it blew my mind as far as like, what in the world are my expectations? You know what I mean? I mean, really, what is your goal? Do you have a goal for measurements, or is it just weight? Because weight is just, it doesn't tell you enough, I think. You know what I mean? And neither do measurements, honestly. I think we need to get to a point where we're just happy. You know what I mean? And then work on whatever's better after that. You know, just be the healthiest you that you can be. And I think that so many people look at other people online and what they look like when they've lost weight, or, you know, definitely got to stay away from. Now, the week that I didn't look in the mirror, I also stayed away from all advertisement. And I tell you, at the end of the week, I felt really good. So I felt really good about myself. I liked myself. You know, there wasn't anything to compare myself to. And I came out a lot happier. So anyway, just something to think about. I just wanted to share some thoughts with you this morning, and we'll share again another time. But I love you so much, and I will check up with you at another time. Have a wonderful Friday, everybody.